Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shai Bashem Rakag Wadash, and double honors to the apostles of the great millstone that taught us this truth, right along with the bishops, and as well as I want to say, Yahweh Bashmi Shai Brakatham, to the elect, which is 140 and 4,000, and as well as the 1/3 that do follow. And it's your brother Laban, and I'm going to just give my take on the AOL News article that I have right before you, which reads, Elon Musk is inserting brain chips into people, and here's what the tech can do. The idea of connecting our brains to computer systems is a staple of science fiction films like The Matrix, but it could become a reality next year. That's why they've made these films to begin with, because they got to give you an idea or a view of the future. So when the future is manifested in the way of the elite want it to be, then it won't be something that's far-fetched to the minds of many. So it's just another way of desensitizing you to this idea. Because if they didn't do all of this stuff, then the thought of it would very well put people off, because naturally it's the wrong thing to do. All right, now if you watch the film 1984, that gives a very well clear, cut and dry view of what it's going to be like if this devil moves forward with this technological power. But the Lord is going to allow this devil but go so far. All right, and there's been many other films that have been made as well to show how people are going to be governed. All right, and what I want to do is I want to go into a term which goes back to the film, which was made in originally the story was written by George Orwell in 1949, and then it turned into this film, this dystopian novel, which you also had books on this film as well. And I want to get to the point now on the term thought crime. Describe the person's politically unorthodox thoughts, beliefs, and doubts that politically contradicts the tenets of INGSOS, which stands for English Socialism, the dominant ideology of Oceania. And the official language of Newspeak, the word crime think describes the intellectual actions of a person who entertains and holds political unacceptable thoughts. Thus, the government of the party controls the speech, the actions, and the thoughts of the citizens of Oceania, which will be a reality. Going back to the article of Elon Musk wanting to what? Insert brain chips into people. And this is just a test, as Neuralink is only but doing, is testing to see how far this technology can go. And then if it works sufficiently, then this could be the thing that the powers that be want to get their hands on and command and demand that all have to come under this technology so that they can control the minds of many and as well as read what's in your mind. All right. Again, this is why they've made all of these sort of films. Research by Foresight Factory suggests that more than a third of consumers would be willing to have such a chip implanted in order to connect directly to computer systems. And this is a time period where a lot of people are much more knowledgeable of the times that they're living in, that their government isn't really for the best interests of them anymore. And yet people are still willing to volunteer, as this article gives away, and as many have already brought out, that thousands have lined up to take this thing. Okay. And when you go back a couple of years ago, when you had the narrative that which was powerfully being brought out repetitiously within a whole year, guess what? People danced to the tune, didn't they? They believed in the idea that there was a particular variant that which was airborne and it was killing people from place to place, from country to country. And guess what? They took the VC, and as well as also they were afraid that they were going to lose their enjoyments. People were afraid that they were not going to be able to travel anymore if they didn't take this thing, or they would lose their jobs. So even though people didn't really agree with this idea, but for the sake of their livelihoods, because people are just average, you know, and even above average, we need our necessities met, right? And when these things are not met, then lies uncomfortability. All right. And most people don't want to be uncomfortable. Most people don't have faith, even including self-proclaimed Christians and various of people that believe different ideologies, right? They don't believe in these things. Because if they truly believed in these things, their belief would have been demonstrated and shown 3 years ago. Okay. And no one would have really went that far to go take the VC for the sake of losing their jobs or losing the ability to travel. Okay. So again, the basic necessities of man is that he has a roof over his head. He's able to eat. He's able to drink water, and he's able to take care of his family, right? So when your government is telling you that you can't do none of these things anymore, the idea of that is threatening to most people. So most people are gonna what? Dance to the tune. And that's what they did. They all lined up and they took the VC. And now they're thinking that they wish should never have taken it in the first place. Because they thought they were going to lose these things that were important to them and things that they were going to enjoy, which is to go out and, socialize, travel, the thing that people do, especially in the cities. Okay. So let's read on. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration recently gave Neuralink approval to being human trials after the initial refusing it. And the FDA, come on, the FDA is juiced in with all of these major conglomerate companies, man. Okay, we're talking about companies that are responsible for your food processing and the likes. And especially when it comes to this Neuralink thing, because this is a primal thing that the elites want. They want to implant everyone with C-hips. I mean, we can take it from the top. People like one of the Rockefellers that Aaron Russo was speaking to, which was revealed 18 years ago in an interview by Alex Jones, right? He spilled the beans and he declared that they want everyone electronically devised. That's what he put out there. And as well as the Rothschilds want the same, which they control the central banks. Hence is why you have what's up and coming, the CBDCs. Okay, so the thing of it is, people, when they don't have no choice because their government is going to push them towards the corner, they're going to take this marker to be system, man. They're going to take it. All right. Just like I mentioned years ago, people went online and took the VC even when they didn't want to take it. They took it because they didn't have the courage to say F you. So the same is going to play out, and it's going to be even worse. It's going to be more threatening because what these devils are going to do, we don't really know how they're going to convince the masses to take the MOTB. But if they failed the test on the fake test, then when the real thing comes, they're going to bend the knee and they're going to take it. And at the same time, what you're also going to have among people that are not going to be okay with this, because you're going to have people that are going to have a strong belief in their form of Christianity, and as well as the brothers that believe what they believe in as well as what we believe. We believe in Yahweh Bashmi Shai, and we believe in the Bible. So, spiritually, we're going to rebel against this thing as well. Okay, so yeah, you're going to have a lot of people going along to get along because they want to keep everything peace, right? They don't want to ruffle the feathers of their government. But you're also going to have rebels in the midst too. You're going to have a lot of rebels too. All right? So it's not going to be an easy thing. And it's not looking very easy for these elites, even prior before when they come down in the way that they're going to come down with this implantable device. All right? So let me read some more on this, man. Neuralink, which launched in 2016, is centered on creating devices that can be implanted in the human brain. and has already implanted chips successfully in mice, pig, and monkeys. The startup is working on flexible threads far thinner than human hair designed to be implanted into the brain by a large robot to read brain activity. And that's just the thing. So when they get into your brain, they can be able to monitor everything that you're thinking, and also your brainwaves, as this video is going to explain, which I'm going to play 3 minutes into this video, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then they'll be able to classify one as a criminal before they even make a criminal move, and calling you a thought criminal, because you've had a thought which is against the government that you're going to be under, technologically wise. And just to mention as well, before I play this, the film 1984 actually showed this, where this one kid, not to give away the film to those that didn't watch it, but I just want to give a little piece of the film away just to make the point, right? There was a kid that the main actor met in this prison that they were involved in, right? And the kid was actually able to read the main actor's mind in the film. And then the kid said, "Oh, he's a thought criminal." And I mean, you had a lot of actors in that film, but I'm just focusing on those two, because the child said to the main actor that he was a thought criminal. So in that film, they were basically showing you, with this technology, they can be able to read your mind. So you have the wrong kind of thought, they can report you to the authorities, and the authorities deal with you however they see fit. All right. So if the people are capable of reading your mind, then how much more your government will be able to read your mind as well. And this is why Esau wants to get down to business to get this technology on board on a mass scale. Especially nowadays, like I've mentioned, people are losing interest of listening to what their government is telling them through the mainstream media outlets. All right. So enough of me talking. Let's play this video.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nicholas Thompson. I'm the CEO of The Atlantic, and I will be your moderator today. We are going to have an incredible session. Star of the show is Nita Farahani. She's a futurist and legal ethicist at Duke, and she's so smart and so interesting. You're going to learn a ton. This is how it's going to work. We're going to watch a short video. She's going to come on stage, talk, and then we're going to do a little Q&A, questions from the audience, and that'll be a wrap, and you'll leave enlightened and excited. So first off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up telling you to take a brain break. But what's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? It started earlier in the month. You send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Could you take a quick look at my brain data? Anything to worry about? Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. You head home jamming to the music with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
And they're telling you right there, the battle for your brain, which is right now as I'm speaking. And this is the reason why they're setting up the CBDCs and the foundation for it, which is the digital ID. And all of this is going to tie you in to the grid, and it's going to connect you with your government, and your government is going to be able to see you through in totality and track you in every step of the way, and to read what you're thinking, and to read your brainwaves, as I've showed you in this video, and be able to predict the crime and or just consider you as a thought criminal, as I've explained. So now I want to read the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Let's begin by reading this. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. And the point is that his soul is not lifted up. Is not upright in him. Because to want to take control over the minds of the people is something that's insane. Okay? And it just goes to show that this devil really has a God complex. He really believes that he's over the Most High and his creation, and he can, by using his technology, he can genetically modify anything that goes, anything that has already been created, and reformulate a world that he can call his own, and he can control that. Okay? And that's ultimately why he is not upright. Ultimately, this devil is nothing more than Satan himself, which means to be adverse towards the Heavenly Father, which means to be adverse towards life itself. Because the Heavenly Father created the heavens and the earth in his knowledge, and by his knowledge remains to be here on this earth. So when we go against the knowledge of the Lord entirely, we go against nature. When we go against nature, we go against ourselves. Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. In other words, again, he's using knowledge, as I've already explained, which goes against the knowledge that the Lord have already established in this life. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth to him all people. And this is why he's coined this world order, the new world order, which is really a one world order. And with this one world order, he's going to be able to electronically tag everybody and read everybody. So now what I want to do is I want to go and read something else, and we're going to get the book of Proverbs 12 verse 3. A man should not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous should not be moved. And just like I've explained earlier before, you can't establish anything by wickedness. What is wickedness? Wickedness is anything which goes against, that transgresses the ways of the Lord. So when you're doing wickedness, eventually the algorithm of life on this earth is going to what? Give you a response. There's going to be a reaction, a consequence, as it is written in the book of Galatians. The Most High is not mocked, for whatever man soweth, that shall he also reap. All right. Galatians 3:25 says the same thing. All right. A man shall receive for the wrong that which he have done. So that's how life itself works. Whatever you put out, you simply get back. There's a cause and there's an effect. So Esau thinks that he can do all of this wrong to an extreme extent, and there's not going to be no kind of backlash to that. But what Esau is going to realize is there is going to be a backlash to it. Kind of backlash that he won't be able to bear. All right? And that's the path of the froward, is to a great deal of judgment for the wrongs that they do. That's why this reads in the book of Proverbs 2, verse 15, whose ways are crooked, and they froward in their paths. Exactly. Just like it reads in the book of Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. So this devil was made to be crooked. He was made to be evil. And by his evil and wicked ways will condemn him. And that's why it reads, for the deceived and the deceiver are his. Let's go and read the book of Job 5 and verse 13. Verse 12, to be exact. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And this is how he's going to what? Disappoint him. He's going to use his own craftiness against him. And the counsel of the froward is carried headlong, because we all have knowledge, which Esau has the knowledge of wisdom, which is no wisdom. And that will be put to practice, and is going to show that there is no benefit to it, but rather it leads to destruction. And our level of wisdom is going to demonstrate that there's a benefit. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to read another precept, which is in the book of Job, verse 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his, and he leadeth counselors away spoiled, and maketh the judges fools. So the leaders right now and the counselors that are today, guess what? They're going to be our slaves. They're going to be our spoils. When they manifest the evil that's within them, they're going to destroy themselves. And that's going to be where the bus is going to stop next for them, is that, as I'm going to say again, they're going to be our slaves. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about these Edomites, especially these Amalekites, the fortunate families around the world, and especially those that rule the banks, and all the way down to these regular average peon Edomites that are living relatively decent as well. They're all going to be our slaves as a nation. And maketh the judges fools. He looseth the bonds of kings, and girdeth their loins with girdles. He leaveth the princes away spoiled, and overthroweth the mighty. And he removeth away the speech of the trusty, and taketh away the understanding of the age. Now verse 19 is the point. He leadeth princes away spoiled. And who's your princes today? Again, the Edomites. All right. You have the royal family down here in the UK, and they basically represent white supremacy overall. They represent the height or the glory of Esau. And so shall they go into slavery and be spoils. So the Lord is going to overthrow them. But like I've said, the Lord is going to use their evil and wicked ways and their craftiness against them to overthrow them. Because that's what evil and wickedness can only but do, is bring condemnation to one. Bad judgment which comes out of that. So these devils will learn this. They're going to learn that you're not going to be able to establish wickedness as it reads. I'm going to read this again. Proverbs 12 and verse 3. A man should not establish by, let me slow it down. A man should not be established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous should not be moved. And why would the righteous not be moved? Which we are the righteous, the Israelites, beginning with the elect, which will possess the kingdom forever and ever, and which will be the world without end. Why is that going to be the case? Because we're going to be in sync with the knowledge of the Lord. that we have. And the earth is going to complement that. All right? Because the earth was created in the vision of the Lord, and in his knowledge there lies. So with that being the case, when we apply the knowledge of the Lord here on this earth, we can't be removed. There can't be no death. There can only but be death if you transgress. And that's why we're suffering death right now. This is why we're experiencing the ways of death, because we've transgressed the ways of the natural order of things. We're supposed to what? Be the kings and the priests. Primarily, we're supposed to be the priests. Okay? And giving up the right kind of sacrifices unto our power. And leading our people in the commandments. But we didn't do this. So this is why we're where we are at, and we're cursed. So if we're the people of the Most High, and yet the Lord have cursed us so bad to the point of damn near no return, then that's very well telling that the Lord is a power of judgment. And the Lord is going to judge these devils. Yeah, these devils were set up to be wicked, but guess what? The Lord is going to make an example of the wicked, so that the world recognizes what's really good. All right, just like how the Lord demonstrated his power against Sodom and Gomorrah. And yet, and still, that's even spoken about today. So America, and as well as this Edomitic current system, is going to be what? Likened unto the example of Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to go out the same fashion. But the only thing that's going to be different is those nukes. It was overthrown by brimstones. This society is going to be overthrown by nukes. So at the ending of this world, we're all going to see the consequences of what wickedness brings. Now, I'm kind of going somewhere else with this, but we're going to get back to the point, right? Esau is going to make the final move, and we want him to make this move because we know at the end of this move, there's going to be the reaction that he thinks, or that they think as a collective, won't be. Okay? There's going to be a nuclear war, and then the Lord is going to invade planet Earth with the angels delivering the elect from the four winds of the earth. And that's going to be the end of this system. But they're going to have to bring this technology in to the forefront. That's going to be the height of Esau, when they really come down with this technology and they get the world to accept this technology in the sense of it being mandated. It's the end for them at that point. So with that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah HaKodash. Yahweh Bahashem Shai Brakatham to the elect, which is 144,000 and the 1/3. Shalom.